Learn about a country every day. Portugal. He is the most male-deficient country in southern Europe. It is also the paradise that ordinary people yearn for the most. There are only 10 million people in the country. There are more women than men. 550,000 marriage in Portugal. Has no concept of dowry at all. The woman's parents will not ask the man to give a penny. Even the wedding expenses are shared by both parties. No one here will force you to succeed. No one will laugh at your mediocrity. You can do it at your own pace. Live the life you want. Portugal. It is one of the least invocative countries in the world. The statutory minimum of 22 days of daisy annual leave must be taken plus public holidays and weekends. More than 150 days of rest a year. Here, there are 300 days of sunshine throughout the year. It has the cleanest air in Europe. What's even rarer is the beaches of Portugal are also full of wildness and clarity. Here it is. Not wearing a bathing suit is not something to be ashamed of. It's a way of life that goes back to nature. Portugal has 9 officially recognized ladder beaches. Every summer tourists from all over the world take off their clothes in the Atlantic sun, enjoying the purest freedom. Sunny beach, fresh air, extreme pace of life, and very low prices. A number of United Nations agencies all rated Portugal as the best countries in the world for retirement. Unlike many Eastern European countries, Portugal, it's not that there is a shortage of men of all ages. What he really lacks are men over 35. The northernmost cliff town of Madeira, Porto Moniz. It is known as the loneliest daughter country in all of Europe. This town of only 2,500 people, it has the highest percentage of women in Europe. There are 79 men for every 100 women. If you only count the married people over the age of 35, that ratio drops to 68 to 100. That is to say, every 3 single women over the age of 35. One sex is destined to find no significant other. There are many more small towns like this in Portugal. At a blind date in Lisbon and Porto, often appear 120 women against 30 men. Many women want to attend a dating party. Start registering months in advance. A 40-year-old regular supermarket cashier, you can easily choose to be 10 years younger than yourself. Even 15-year-old women, and a 40-year-old female college professor. You can only choose men who are 5 to 10 years older than you. Due to the scarcity of men over the age of 35 in Lisbon, there is also a specifically designed for single women over the age of 35 boyfriend rental business that provides escort services. Women can be paid by the hour. Hire men to accompany you to dinner, watch a movie and party, even pretending to be his boyfriend to meet his family. The price of this kind of business goes up to €50 1 hour. Still in short supply, there are many people who rely on this business. Earn €40,000 a year. The income is more than 3 times that of local white-collar workers. Portugal, located in the southwest of the Iberian Peninsula, in Europe. Northeast China connects to Spain. Southwest, bordering the Atlantic Ocean. The total land area is about 92,000 square kilometers. The total population is approximately 10.64 million. Lisbon, the capital, is the largest city in the country. Population about 2.80 million. Many people can't tell the difference between Portugal and Spain. I thought Portugal was just a province of Spain. I thought Portuguese people spoke Spanish. However, in reality, Portugal and Spain, but they are 2 completely different countries. Languages and cultures are different. Don't look. Portugal is only 92,000 square kilometers. It is a little bigger than our Chongqing city. However, Portugal is the first country in human history, the first global maritime hegemony, the first true empire where the sun never sets. 500 years ago, the Portuguese fleet has a monopoly on the world's oceans. His colonies spread across 4 continents. Controls 12.8 million square kilometers of land and 25 million people. The Portuguese Navy at that time, the most powerful navy in the world. As long as the ships of any country sail at sea, all must obtain permission from Portugal, otherwise it will be sunk. Portuguese in the Indian Ocean rampage across the world. No country can compete with it. Until today, Portuguese remains the 6th most spoken language in the world. Users with 260 million. If there is one person who can represent the whole of Portugal, so this guy, it must be Cristiano Ronaldo. In Portugal, Ronaldo's name is everywhere. The airport is named after him. The museum is named after him. Even the specialty wines of Madeira all printed with his avatar. When Portugal won the European Cup, the whole country will party for 3 days and 3 nights. When Ronaldo scored, bars all over the country will boil. Ronaldo is not just a football player, it is also the national symbol of Portugal. He used his efforts and achievements let the world rediscover this once forgotten southern European country. Many people are learning about Portugal for the first time. It is because of C. Luo. Portugal is the least invaded developed country in the world. It is also the most enviable place for young people around the world. In Portugal, the registration fee is only €2 to see a doctor. Surgical hospitalization is free. Even if you have cancer, long-term medication is required. The monthly medication fee is also only a maximum of €30. Education is free from ages 3 to 18. No school district housing, no school choice fee. The teachers in rural and urban schools are exactly the same. University tuition fees are only a few €100 a year. The law requires a 40-hour work week. Get off work on time at 6 p.m. every day. If the boss dares to message you after get off work, you can directly block. You can also go to the labor inspectorate to sue him. Fines of up to €100,000. The Portuguese don't compare houses, don't compare cars, do not compare children's achievements. A supermarket cashier and a university professor equals status in society. No one will you are an ordinary worker and look down on you. They value your character more. Your character. Do you know how to enjoy life? Mediocrity is not a sin here, it's the way most people are. Many people think Portugal is just a European Union bailout, the poor fruits that depend on tourism for food. This is the biggest misunderstanding about the Portuguese economy. Portugal is a member of the United Nations World Bank International Currency IMF, recognized as a moderately developed country in 2025. In the name of Portugal, the total GDP is approximately $347 billion, about $32,000 per person. 2025 circulating online. Portugal was named a developed country by the United Nations. It's a complete rumor. United Nations. The identification criteria for developed countries have never been adjusted. Portugal's Human Development Index is 0.89. They're very high on the Human Development Index, well above the developed country threshold of 0.8. At the same time, Portugal's economy is not entirely dependent on tourism. Portugal is the largest country in the world. Softwood producers and exporters. More than 90% of the world's wine cork stoppers are all made in Portugal. Now, cork is no longer just for wine competitions. It's being made into floor insulation, aerospace components, Airbus A350 and Tesla Model 3. There are figures of Portuguese cork very few people know. Portugal is the third largest mold exporter in Europe after Germany, and Italy. His high-precision plastic molds and automotive molds account for 10% of the global market share. Mold companies in Portugal, mostly family-run, hidden champions, small scale, but leading technology globally. Volkswagen, BMW, many parts, molds of Mercedes-Benz, Apple, all produced by Portuguese companies. And not only that, Portugal is still a global new energy source, one of the most successful countries in transition. 2024 Portugal gets 87.7% of its electricity from renewable sources, second in the European Union. It was also the first in Europe countries that have achieved 100% renewable energy generation. His pharmaceutical industry, auto parts industry, aerospace industry. It holds an important position in Europe. Of course, Portugal is not a paradise everywhere. He also has his own problems and shortcomings. The bureaucracy in Portugal is very serious. It's extremely inefficient. It takes a long time to do anything, run many departments, many chapters. When many foreigners first come to Portugal, will be driven crazy by the bureaucracy here. And not only that, employment for young people in Portugal is also very difficult. 39% of young people under the age of 30 are temporary workers. The average bedtime salary is only €948. Therefore, many young people have to go abroad to work or choose to live with your parents, and the infrastructure is very poor. Roads in many places, the water and electricity networks are outdated. There were always water and power outages. Public transportation is also not developed enough, especially in rural areas, but these shortcomings can't hide the light of Portugal. He is not a perfect country, but he is a gentle country. He allows you to slow down, allow you to be mediocre, allows you to live at your own pace.